Hey, good morning, it's Jim. We're on the Subaru with the 4-speed automatic, the shift console, and my little WD-40 fix didn't resolve it for very long, so I'll be changing that console shifter out. So we'll show you what's going on here. Okay, so I got a decent used one from the pick and pull. I did hit it with a bit of white lithium grease, spray grease, just to make sure that shouldn't have any other issues with it later on. Cleaned up the slide plate like I was talking about, and now I'm just removing this console here to get access. So there's little cover here that you got to pull out, and then you got two 10mm. There's a machine screw here. I think somebody jerry-rigged mine because it had a Robertson screw in there, but I don't think that's probably factory. But anyways, so yeah, this little boot for the e-brake, just pop that up, and then you got access there. Once you get those guys out of the way, then you're almost into it. So do the next stage and then go through. Maybe just one other thing here with this center console. Don't plan on yanking it all the way out of there. If you've got the heated seats, your controls come through it, and then there's also a wire to the back for the power point. So for me, I'm just going to tip it back and out of my way for now. If you do have to replace that, then you know what else is going on. Okay, and then to get this center console cover out after you've released these two tabs here, and it's just a matter of kind of tugging at it a bit, and it pops out. All right, and next step, you'll see I've got a another video, but basically I turned the key ahead. Since I'm working over here already, I'm gonna just release the park brake, or sorry, the gear shift with the release here, and then what I'm going to do is basically slide the gear shift, maybe I'm going to, down into one of the lower gears so I can pull this cover off. So right now it won't come off unless it's down lower. So look after that and get back to it. This my screwdriver was a bit too big the first try, so with the little one I could release that lock, slide the pin over basically, and then run her down so it's not locked in park anymore. And then I did put the park brake on, move that out. Now I'm basically into it, and all the other goodies that got lost under there. So yeah, there's like 4 bolts. I believe they were 14 mil. I'll double check that. And then I think this one harness here, just undo the clip, and we'll get back to here. Okay, so I just flipped this plate up. I guess if you were going to keep your original one, you could just lift it off to the side, and then gives you better access to those 4 bolts. They're 13 millimeter. They're in there pretty good. So okay, next, I just noticed this thing here looks like it somehow got dislodged. Should have been riding up there. I believe what's been going on is it was caught like that. So anyway, that was probably one thing that was preventing me from being able to, well, maybe not, yeah, go down there. Okay, so the two larger screws at the back, and take them off. That's going to give you access to be able to start lifting that. Now, had the harness uncoupled here, and then there's a support for the wiring here, so just a pair of needle nose pliers or whatever, squeeze that together, it'll pop back out. And then there's one more nut down inside. I'll get to that in a sec here. Okay, so we got the wire unhooked here, where it was mounted, right here. And then just slide this to the side here. This is about as far up as I can lift it, but your shift linkage is underneath, so have to go underneath the car to undo that. So I'll catch you in a minute. Okay, I guess what I was trying to show you is the way the shift linkage hooks in here. There's like a cable that goes through here. It's actually a compression fit kind of into this bracket, and then there's like a threaded end on it here that has this basically nut on the end of that. So we'll have to loosen that off, and we probably have to shift the console up into park to try and pull this lever that direction to unhook that. And then we'll have to loosen the there's kind of like a nut fitting on both sides there, to loosen that off so we can pull it through. So I'll show you, but I figured it was easier to explain it there than trying to do it under the car. Okay, so I'm under the car. This is the linkage. I'm gonna get busy at it. I believe the nut on the end of that rod is a 12 millimeter there. Probably best to support the other one as well. And then the other ones that I was talking about where that bracket's held in here is right there. So I'll get on this. Okay, so I got the connector in, the sensors where I want it, and now I'm going to plug it back into to the connector up here. And these ones you just squeeze. Sorry, not a lot of room under here. Squeeze it on both sides, and that's where it releases from. So before you want to unhook it, that's how you do that. Is just give her a squeeze and then wiggle it out. And then with the O2 sensor out, you can remove your heat shield, which I guess I might be getting ahead of myself here. Let's see. Yeah, I got to put the heat shield back over before I can plug this in. I'm just gonna leave it angle here for now, but anyway, that's where it goes. So the only thing you want to do is make sure that you go over top of the cross member here so that you don't end up with it getting burned on the catalytic converter. Okay, and it is staked one plastic clip here. I popped that out. Okay, so better access for that center console is removing the heat shield that's between your exhaust system and the drive shaft. It was for 12 millimeter bolts. Had one on the corner, I think it was down there, that was pretty seized in there. But anyways, yeah, make it a little bit more enjoyable versus trying to bend it back to get at that. And when I did remove it, I did end up pulling my O2 sensor out. I had another little project I was working on do that as a separate video for the reducer. But anyways, I removed the O2 sensor. I think you could probably get the heat shield off by just unplugging the cord and then lift it over. Since I'm under here doing the other thing, I did it that way. Okay, the nut on the one at the junkyard actually was pretty free, but this one seemed to have a bit of a burr or something on the end of it. It was rotating the entire linkage, so I ended up squeezing the vice grips onto the linkage itself and then actually run the nut back on a bit tighter, lubricated that with WD-40, and then when I ran her back it came over. So you don't want to just wind your linkage up repeatedly while you're trying to loosen that off, so just throw that in there. All right, and I just went back into the car, shifted it into park, and by doing that was able to bring the shift linkage out. And now I just got to loosen these guys out so that I can pull this free. Okay, and then to get the linkage out of this little bracket, just ended up trying to loose it out. This one here didn't actually have any nut profile on here. I tried one other set of vice grips on the other side, but at the end of the day, since I'd soaked it so good with WD-40 a couple days ago, I was able to just work this back and forth and get her to pop down. Okay, so now I'm ready to lift the console, shift console out. So I'll go up and do that from up there, and then I'm gonna see whether or not I'm gonna be able to connect the linkage before I actually drop everything all the way through. I'm hoping being able to do that from the top side will make that part a lot easier. We'll find out. Okay, so I got the old assembly out. I just wanted to show you this piece here is important to either transfer it over. The one I grabbed at the junkyard, I guess I neglected to bring that, so the shift linkage won't stay locked in there without that piece. So. Okay, hopefully this is going to focus. So back underneath it, ended up just wrapping that with a hammer once I had everything lined up and it popped in where it needs to go, using just a wrench. It's a ratchet wrench, but to reinstall the nut on the end of the shift linkage, I don't want to go too far too fast, and again using the vice grips to hold the actual linkage rod so that it doesn't end up just getting all wound up. So I reinstalled the rubber boot here, and then I'm just going to basically go until it looks like this nut is in its original position, which is pretty much here. I'm almost running out of kind of the rusty rod end there, so it should be about right. But once I get everything else hooked back up, I'm just going to shift it through and make sure that everything seems to line up right, so that it actually is in the gear that I think I'm selecting. Don't want to end up not being able to shift into park, or having it not shift all the way down into sport mode or drive or something. So. Okay, so back top side here, ended up putting a couple bolts in just to hold that while I was putting the cable back in from underneath. Then what I did was pull those bolts out. When I came back up, I managed to actually have enough room to jiggle this out of the way when it was in park, to be able to lift the whole console shifter assembly up so that I could adjust the tensioning nuts on the cable. and then basically played with it a bit so that I could get it to shift and double check that it was actually in the right place. To start with, it wasn't, so I ended up having to readjust the location of the tensioning nuts on that shift linkage, and now I've got it so that it's, I think, where it needs to be. And I guess the only thing I'm a little concerned about right now is that the light for sport mode is staying on, but I noticed that it did that the other time when I had this all apart, just when I was trying to clean it out. So I think that'll reset once it's back together and runs for a minute. So okay, so now what I'm gonna do is go back underneath. I'll put the heat shield and stuff back in place, and then I'll be back topside and finish putting this back together. Okay, and remember to shift her back into drive or whatever when you're putting this back in, and then you can see it lifts up, clips into there, push it ahead, and then snap it down at the back. You're good there. Then we've got the rear piece to put back in, since it's just sitting there right now. Should be able to jiggle it into where it goes, and then we're just gonna end up putting the bolts back in at the back. The one screw on this one, like I said, was probably a jerry-rigged one, but it goes up in the front there, and then just the park brake cover going back on. Okay, I just fired it up. The sport light was on to start with, and then it canceled itself out. Still got my park brake set, so yeah, should do it. Good luck. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope your project goes well too.